Hey everyone, this is Masaki coming to you live from the Sin Alliance on State 483. And today we're going to go cover over a topic for one of the events we have, which is this, kind of like Green Project event. Specifically, I want to talk about the infected gardeners. So you've seen monsters of this type from other events, like the Christmas one, the Halloween, the Thanksgiving event. I did want to highlight this specific one because it actually gives really great rewards, and everyone should be doing this. Unlike my recommendation for the previous events, where it may make sense to do them, it may not make sense. First, let's cover over why you should do them, right? So this monster you can summon through getting these fertilizers, which you can do through, just doing things like donations, killing infected. They reward you with things like the watering can, which just feeds into the other event, your biocaps, your chief experience, and as well as your hero experience. These are all really great items that you can use for yourself. Now, the way to kind of maximize rewards for this thing is really being really amazing at killing this beast within the challenges. And the way to do that is actually pretty straightforward and simple. You would have to first basically figure out the heroes to use, right? So let's do this. Let's go summon one, and I'll show you some basic strategies. Okay. First, I'm going to show you kind of how much damage I can do, right? So this monster I have already summoned, it has 51 chances left, or 51 life bar left, right? The heroes I use are Mike, Travis, and Chef. The reason I use Travis is because then he reduces the stamina spend on this event. Like, for example, if you don't use Travis, use something like Chain, you'll notice that your stamina is going to be 10. So if you think about it this way, by using Travis, you're going to have, every 5 chances, 5 of these, you get a free. Every 4 chances, you actually get a free infected gardener, which is really good. Mike is going to be your main DPS dealer, and I'll talk about his skills and why you use him later. And Chef, the reason you use Chef is just because he's one of the better tanks that doesn't stun the monster. So let's talk about that once you see how this works. So let's go into it. Okay, remember with all these challenges, always be on manual mode. You never want to be on automatic, okay? The first thing you want to do is walk up Chef so he can throw this bomb at the gardener. Just get some initial damage in, right? The second part is you want to walk up to the gardener and start having Chef take damage from the gardener. Of course, when his grenade is up off of CD cooldown, you should be using the grenade, okay? Now you'll notice that my damage kind of goes up and jumps pretty high once in a while, right? It usually happens right when Chef is hit, and this is because of Mike's skill. So Mike does burst damage against monsters that hit my heroes. And so this is one of the reasons why Mike can do so much damage within these challenges. As you can see, I did 842k damage, which is about 52x on the bar. So each of these monsters have, if you want to think about it, 100 times their life bar. I can do about 50 with one challenge. So between me and another member who know how to do this, we can take down one of these every single time with 2 hits only. Okay, so let's talk about, I'll run another one to kind of walk through slowly the general strategy. And I'll do this in, instead of 3x speed, I'll do it in 1x speed so you can see. Okay, so let's walk up to the monster and I'll show you how this works. So 1x speed, you want to first bring Chef up to the top. You want to throw that grenade almost right away as soon as the encounter happens. Now, the monster is going to walk in range of Mike and Travis. The key is you want to make sure that first Travis log that stuns the monster happens, and then you walk Chef up. And this way, it basically allows Mike to have 1 extra hit. And every single time the grenade's off cooldown, you want to be using the grenade on the boss, okay? Now, the way Mike works is that if your hero gets hit, Mike will do kind of like a burst of 3 hits, right? And each one of them can trigger his critical hit as well, which ignores armor, does a lot of damage. And so you actually want to, as much as possible, have Chef being hit by the monster, by the boss. And this is another reason why I'm not using any of the stun grenades or any of the Travis stunt spike things, right? And obviously Travis does his log, which stuns, and that's just something you can't avoid. And Mike's triple shot revenge type of skill does have a cooldown, so this is why you want to make sure you get the first hit in as soon as possible before the boss kind of. So you don't want to stun the boss as much, definitely. You want the boss to hit Chef as much as possible, and you want to make sure just that first hit is a difference of about maybe 100,000 damage. Is you do want the first hit ever, Travis to hit the log first, then walk Chef up. You don't want to walk a Chef up too fast or too early, or else you'll miss that extra 100,000 damage. Here you go. as you can see. I mean, I've gotten damage as high as 940k by doing this, so it's very possible. And to be honest, my heroes and gear are not amazing at all. Like, I'll just show you what they are, right? So compared to a lot of my other alliance members, these are going to be really crappy hero gears, as you can see. They're just kind of blues, tier 1 blues, nothing crazy, right? Okay. Um, let's talk about why we use Mike. So a lot of people probably prefer to use Sarge, but my opinion, don't use Sarge, use Mike for these big giant bosses. And the reason is because a combination of his second and third skill. So let's look at the second skill first. So second skill says every time he hits, there's always a chance of a critical hit, which will bypass defense and causing just direct damage, right? So this is just going to be a ton of damage directly to the boss, no defense reduction, right? It's really good. His third skill is triple tap, which basically says he'll fire 3 shots if that target attacks any of the squad members, and these shots will deal 15k damage. But then he'll keep hitting that boss monster. It really doesn't matter for the next 5 seconds. The key is this though: it does have a 5-second cooldown, so it can't happen all the time. But you do want to make sure every time that thing is off cooldown, you're going to trigger it again, right? And the other part is the triple shot will also potentially trigger sure shot, which will mean potentially you can have 3 shots of armor piercing rounds for those triple shots. And that's why you see whenever I hit that gardener, there's like a burst of damage where it goes, let's say, from 40k damage dealt to like 120, 180k instantly. It's just because Mike's hitting those triple shots. And that's pretty much it. So let's talk a little bit about rewards, right? So of course, by kind of hitting it, if you're able to do the type of damage I do, you can get 9 watery cans, 200 biocaps, right? 800 chief experience, and then 10,000 hero experience manuals. And basically, this reward is pretty consistent as long as you can make it over, I think, about 800,000 damage, which is about 50x of the bar. And once the boss monster dies, you actually just get, straight up like about 30 minutes worth of speed ups, right, across troop training, construction, as well as research. These are really good rewards, highly recommended. Yeah, so I definitely recommend spending your stamina on this event. That's it for today. This is Masaki from Sin Alliance on State 43, reminding you to stay classy.